Impressive. I think you've done more than enough to prove you're truly anti-Joko. You shouldn't have any problem getting Salwa to let you into the restricted archive. Tell her I've sent you to retrieve a book called Nightfall. The book will reveal the entrance to the Sunspear base.
Archivist Rada sent me to fetch a book for her. The title is Nightfall. She said you'd know it.
Every page, by heart. Rada has an eye for history. And apprentices too, it seems. Enter, and do not fail her.
Nightfall. Nightfall. Rare and valuable. That's dramatic.
Ahai, hero of Amnoon. I am First Spear Hakima of the Istani Sun Spears.
You know who I am?
Every Sun Spear knows who you are. And I believe we have some common interests. Joko's hold on Istan has weakened in his absence. Some of us here even dare to dream of a new era.
I left Joko rotting in a cage in the domain of the Lost. Should definitely make for smoother sailing.
You would think. But the number of Awakened grows. They're retaking towns we freed, including Champion's Dawn. And someone claiming to be Joko is offering rewards for the heads of his enemies. Especially yours.
So I hear. I'll tread carefully. To that end, I'm here to ask if you can get me into Faranur.
Oh. I'm afraid not. Only our leader knows the way. Spear Marshal Zaim guards that secret with his life. He rode south to retake Champion's Dawn from the Awakened. The priest there, Sazir, usually knows where he is.
Then that's where I'm headed.
Quite a reward.
Zaim was trained by a Sunspear named Ketur, until word of Istan's plight reached his ears. When Balthazar attacked the mainland, things got worse in Istan. Much worse. Istan was Zaim's home, and despite his mentor's protests, he could not sit by while it burned. Zaim vowed to bring the Sunspears out of the shadows, to once again make them a shield for the innocent and the scourge of the corrupt. I was the first he recruited, but many would follow. Eventually, we convinced him to take the title of Spear Marshal. The Sun Spears are an ancient order, honorable protectors from brighter years in Alona's history. Most of my brothers and sisters were awakened and forced to serve Joko. You know them now as the Mordant Crescent. A few survived, in hiding. Recruiting to sustain the order across the generations in hopes they might one day rise against Joko. Zaim has become the Spear Marshal of these Sun Spears. We serve his vision of an Istan free from Joko's grasp. Balthazar's campaign on the mainland caused ripples throughout the kingdom. Crops burned, trade lines disrupted, shipments to Istan that never got past Palawadan. Joko's loyalists are comprised mainly of the island's nobility, and only they are allowed to live within Palawadan, its port city. They control what comes in and what goes out. They decided food would not go out. When people objected, the Temple of Joko said those outside Palawadan's walls were disloyal and didn't deserve food. It started out as a way for the nobility to feel virtuous watching half the island starve. But it escalated. Quickly. Isner Isles had enough and declared their independence from the rest of Istan. By then, the temple congregation had armed themselves. The loyalists went down there, intending to make an example of the disloyal. Zaim was prepared, though. He taught us a great deal about guerrilla tactics. The Sun Spears crushed the Loyalists, sent them running all the way to the northern shore. The awakened garrison was manned by a skeleton crew, no pun intended, thanks to your liberation of the mainland forces. Nonetheless, the Mordant Crescent sent 50 Awakened to find this famous Sun Spear champion and end the rebellion. We don't know how he did it. But two facts are undisputed. Those awakened lie dead, and Zaim lives. The people started calling him the hero of Istan. It galvanized the whole island behind him. The Mordant Crescent and their loyalists imposed martial law, even within Palawadon itself. They started conscripting the living and awakening the dead. If you won't serve in life, you can always serve in death. Anyone suspected of aiding the Sun Spears gets rounded up for re-education. With their supply lines broken, their families imprisoned, recruits getting harder and harder to find. Well, as you can imagine, things started falling apart. The Mordant Crescent would rather watch Istan burn than tolerate any commoner who shows some spine. And Zaim and his Sunspear recruits? Well, we have spines of iron.
I'm looking for Priest Sazir. I heard he may have seen what happened.
Awakened overran us. Took our food. Damn near destroyed the place. What does it look like?
Not you, Father. Me. He forgets he's now an elder priest, retired. This isn't a good time. We've been through a lot.
I was told Spear Marshal Zaim had ridden here to help. Have you seen him?
The Spear Marshal, yes, he did come to our defense. I thought he might be able to turn back the
Then
Awakened.
Zaida the Sly and her corsairs ambushed him. Carted him off to sell to the highest bidder.
I can't exactly just walk onto her ship and ask her to give him back. I need some leverage.
Might be a way. Old corsair family like the Slies. Only one thing means more than gold. Honor.
No, Father, I know this story. It would be suicide to even try.
Centuries ago, story goes, a Sunspear champion found a coin belonged to a corsair. Name of Margaret the Sly. Sly family wanted it back. Swore they'd grant any favor to whoever returned it. No one ever has.
How can I get this coin?
You can't. Hundreds of Corsairs have entered the cave of the Sunspear champion, hoping to best him, win the coin, and get a favor from the Slies. All have died. Like I said, suicide.
I've died before. It's overrated. Where do I find this cave?
It's on the south shore. You need only follow the trail of dead, but I wish you'd reconsider.
Boy, who do you think you're talking to? If anyone can win that coin, it's this one. Might even help our town along the way. I can see it in your eyes, Commander. Cormyr be with you.
The nobility in Palawadon have been hoarding any and all food shipments from the mainland for weeks now.
Even that doesn't satisfy them. Started sending out brute squads to shake us down for what crumbs we do have.
Those fiends will put a bit of food just outside the cages to torment the poor wretches inside. Sadists like their king. Joko's happy to let his people starve. After all, he can always awaken them when he wants more soldiers.
Every life we save counts double. One more for us. One less for him.
No, propaganda doesn't need to be persuasive, just pervasive. Wears you down over time.
His corpsiness thinks breaking our wheels is the cost-effective strategy to shut us up and get us back to mining.
Joko's no ruler. If anyone complains, it's the lash or the cage for them, if they're lucky. What kind of person rules that way? Complain too loud and you end up in the ground, or worse. People are ready for a change, but they can't do much from those cages. Get them an early release, so to speak, and I expect they'll be all ears when it's time to talk about improving our government. Balthazar's war made resources scarce. Islands are the first to feel that sort of shortage. Zaim couldn't stand to watch Joko's lapdogs gorge themselves while good, hard-working women and men starved. He started this rebellion for us. He could have stayed hidden, could have ignored our suffering, but he didn't. The hero of Istan has shown us that good people can't sit idly by while evil ones threaten the innocent. He's young, but he's everything a Sunspear should be. A champion of the oppressed, who knows peace without justice is surrender.
Not much to tell, really. He's been there since before my father's father was born. Kind of tradition for the kids of the village to sneak out there to the cave and watch him knock down challengers. He's not like the other Awakened I've met. He was always kind to us kids. Put on a real show. Mind you, this is gossip from 200 years ago. But I heard when he was awakened, he put up a real fight. Joko and his stooges had to say every order just so, or he'd find a way around it. Most people just give up, accept it. Easy to give in, be a mindless slave. But a few keep a bit more personality. The Archon at the time, he didn't like this one's personality. So the Archon ordered him to guard that cave. Forever. Since that's the only order he was given, it's the only one he's bound to. Seems content to brawl the years away. What's to say? Of course, Corsair made a bet, lost an heirloom, and died before she could get it back. It's become kind of a family IOU. Passed to her kid and her kid's kid, until it landed in Saida's hands. The Sly crew is pretty, traditional. They take the old code of honor very seriously. If anything can save you from the business end of their sabers, it's that coin. Trust me.
Trail of dead.